Well, hello again, and I'm back finishing up our supper. And I thought that I probably wouldn't show you how I do the pork chops, but you know what? There may be somebody watching that hasn't fried pork chops before. And there's nothing to it. It's easy to do. You just pick out the size of pork chops you want, and these are bone-in sirloin chops. I like the bone in them. And all I do is salt and pepper them, and put a little onion and garlic powder on them. Now some people don't dust them with flour. They just fry them with the seasoning on them. I like to put a little flour on mine, and I put just enough oil to cover the bottom of the skillet. And I just brown it real good on one side, turn it over and cook the other side. Make sure your internal temperature is right, and you have good cooked pork chops. Now I'll bring you down and show you what I'm doing. This isn't going to take long, but maybe somebody needs to know how to fry a good pork chop. Okay, on this side I've already salted and peppered, and you need to remember pork is kind of salty. This is onion powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on. It doesn't hurt on onion powder if you get enough that you can see it. You're not going to get too much. The garlic powder you have to be a little more careful with because it's very potent. I just barely sprinkle some on. Okay, I've got that side seasoned. I've already done my salt and pepper. So I'm just going to dust it with a little bit of flour. Lay it right back down on my wax paper here. And I'm going to see, I'm not salting it much. I'm just barely putting enough to give it a little flavor. My black pepper. If you're new to my channel and you haven't seen my pepper grinder, this is from Sur La Table, and I love it because of the ratchet. It's so much easier to do. I'm going to sprinkle a little garlic on this side. Not a whole lot. A little onion powder. And a little flour over them again. Now I've got my grease warming over here. And I'm just going to put them in there. Okay, I'm going to put my chops in. And I had my grease a little too hot, so I added some extra oil to cool it down. Otherwise, I would not have this much oil in here. But that's better than it being so hot that it burns them. I'm going to cook them probably 3 to 4 minutes on each side to make sure the internal temperature is finished. And I'll bring you back and show you the finished pork chops, but that's all there is to it. You can see that the pork's cooking, the blood's cooking out of it, and I'm going to want it to be at least 145 internal temperature. That's what's recommended by our government for that it's done enough to eat without any danger of it harming you. And I like for it to be really good and brown on the side that's cooking. So when it gets real brown, I'll turn it over. See, I like it browner than that. That's still a little light. I want it good and golden brown. And then I'll turn it over and cook the other side the same. Okay, see, I've got them real good and brown. The pork chops on one side, and I'm browning the other side. I want to show y'all something that I've learned that works really well. Put your paper towel on the plate underneath, and always if you fry something, put it on a rack, and that way the air can flow. And have you ever fried stuff and stacked it all on a plate and your goodie sticks to your paper towel? You don't want that. You want to put it on a wire rack, have your paper towels down there to catch the grease if it drips through. So try that next time when you fry chicken or pork chops or steak or whatever. onion. Even onion rings and French fries do better like this. They don't just sit soaking in grease and the heat from them being piled up together, steaming them. So here's our pork chops on a plate. Cooked them to 165 internal temperature, so I don't have to worry about anything. And we're fixing to sit down and have supper. I hope if y'all grew up with Mama cooking pork chops or going to Grandma's and getting pork chops, but you've never tried to cook them at home. I hope you see how easy it is to cook a good meal at your house and cook some old Southern soul food. Pork chops and butter beans is hard to beat. So just be sure that you have your internal temperature at least 165. I hope y'all have enjoyed these 3 or 4 days of the recipes that I prepared in one day for a meal for us, but I make a video out of each dish. We're fixing to sit down and have supper, and we're going to have the collard greens, the butter beans, the broccoli cornbread, and pork chops. I hope y'all will come right back here tomorrow and see what else we're going to be eating in this house. The good Lord bless y'all, keep you safe, and I'll see you tomorrow right here.